the United States declared its independence and defeated the British Army, we did not only earn the freedoms that we enjoy today. Americans also inspired many other peoples around the world to secede from host nations and become their own independent nations. Before declaring their independence and winning their own revolution, Texas was a part of Mexico. Inspired by the American Revolution and other domestic conflicts around the globe, Texas declared its own independence, fought off the Mexican army, and became the Republic of Texas before eventually becoming a part of the United States. Today, I'm going to tell how the Texas Revolution began, talk about the significance of the Alamo, and tell how Texas became a state. How did the Texas Revolution come about? The citizens of Mexico who lived in modern-day Texas felt that the Mexican government was impeding upon their rights as citizens. To start with, Mexico cut off all trade with the United States, which all but destroyed the Texas economy. At this time, Texas was very dependent upon trade with the United States. Therefore, when Mexico cut off trade with the United States, it stalled the Texas economy and forced Texas into sort of an economic depression. Second, another main point of the Texas economy was slavery. People that moved into Mexico from the United States and other places were very dependent on slave labor. Mexico disallowed and prohibited all Texas citizens from owning slaves, which further damaged the economy and also made Texas feel as if they had no rights as citizens. Lastly, Mexican troops were posted around Texas to ensure that all colonists were adhering to strict governmental rules. This is one of the reasons that America seceded from Britain when the British soldiers were posting themselves within the colonies here in the United States. This made them feel not only that they were being denied their rights as citizens, but also being denied their rights as human beings. When talking about the Texas Revolution, usually the first thing that people think of is the Alamo. It's generally seen as the most recognizable symbol in the Texas Revolution. According to my audience analysis, most people in here saw that the significance of the Alamo was both artillery and strategic positioning. Originally, the Alamo was used as a cache for large battlefield artillery. Before actually using the Alamo as a battlefield or as a fort in Texas, it was being used to store artillery. And Jim Bowie, a colonel within the Texas rebel army, he was sent to the Alamo to retrieve all of the artillery from the Alamo to use elsewhere. However, this became impossible because Bowie and the other members of the rebel force that were sent there did not have the animals or the resources to pull all the artillery out of there. Therefore, it was used as a fort. The strategic positioning of the Alamo gave the Texas military an upper hand in stalling the Mexican army. Therefore, General Sam Houston, the leader of the Texas Army, could move his troops back and train them farther back away from the border with Mexico. And the Alamo was there to stall the Mexico army, to buy more time for Sam Houston to train his people. Defenders of the Alamo held the garrison for 13 days against a much larger and better trained force. At this point, Santa Anna, the leader of the Mexican army, had over 7,000 well-trained Mexican soldiers. At this point, Colonel Travis, who was placed in charge of actions at the Alamo, had less than 200 soldiers posted with him. On the ninth day of the siege, that lasted 13 days, Texas declared its independence from Mexico. However, The defenders of the Alamo did not know that the Texas government had declared their independence, but still continued to fight on for 4 days until the last man was no longer standing, and the Mexican army pushed through. After the siege of the Alamo, the Texas battle cry throughout the remainder of the war became "Remember the Alamo." It's seen most of the time throughout Texas and throughout history as one of the most significant battles in the war. How did Texas become a state? Immediately following the Texas Revolution, Texas did not immediately join the United States. Texas became its own country, the Republic of Texas. It wasn't until 1845 that the Republic of Texas became the state of Texas within the United States. Texas declared its independence from Mexico on March 2nd of 1836. This converted Texas from being a part of Mexico to being the Republic of Texas, its own sovereign nation. On December 29th of 1845, President Polk of the United States signed an official annexation of Texas to make it the 28th state. Texas was one of many around the world that was inspired to become their own nations. Though Texas was initially a country of its own, it became a part of the United States. Today I've explained how Texas seceded from Mexico, the significance of the Alamo, and how Texas became a part of the United States.